Welcome, everybody, to the Goal Line Podcast. Like and subscribe. Some good stuff you're about to hear. We're going to be talking about a lot of topics on football. Let's get ready for it.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Welcome back. Episode 2. Can you believe it? I didn't even think we'd do an episode 1, and here we are. That's pretty wild.
It took a little longer than we thought, but, we finally got to it.
Getting it done. So on tonight's show, we've got a few different things to go over. We're going to compare our picks for what we thought the college football playoff rankings were going to be compared to the actual college football playoff rankings. We're going to go over a few of the games that we talked about last week and how they went. We're going to touch on Tennessee a little bit, the Notre Dame-Syracuse game, and the Notre Dame-Clemson game coming up. Talk about some of the more notable games for this weekend. And then we have a few other things that we're going to do in terms of picking player of the week and team of the week for this past weekend. That was Samantha's idea, so A+ for doing it.
I only have one good idea.
Rude.
But yeah, so all right, let's get going. So first off, we have our predictions for the college football playoff initial rankings compared to the actual rankings. So I think we'll start off with our top 6, so it's not too much. And then we'll kind of go from our top 6 to the actual top 6 so we can see how close we were and maybe how close we weren't. Anybody want to start us off here? Michael, why don't we go with you? What was your top 6, your predictions for what you thought it was going to be?
Number 1 had to be Tennessee. I mean, they're just how they're playing. They have 5 ranked opponents. They are obviously the best choice for number 1. They have the strongest strength schedule, and they go out there and play the games. So number 1 had to be Tennessee. I was debating between Georgia and Ohio State at number 2. I ended up picking Georgia just because their top 25 win was against the stronger Oregon. So at number 2 was Georgia. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 4 was Clemson. Number 5, Michigan. And this might shock a lot of people, but number 6 was actually TCU.
Okay. Samantha, where are we at with your top 6?
Basically piggybacking Micah. I put mine Vols 1. I'm praying that next week works out well for them.
Bleeding orange.
I'm debating between Georgia or Ohio at 2nd. I'm not entirely sure, but for now I'm going Georgia 2nd, Ohio 3rd. 4th, I was going Michigan just because why not? See what happens. I like to be proven wrong sometimes. 5, Clemson, and then I agree with 6, TCU. I don't know if Bama can hold it. We'll see though.
Okay. I'm pretty close to you guys. I think actually Samantha, mine in your top 4, the exact same: Tennessee, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and then I got Clemson and TCU. It goes down to number 8 for me, Oregon, and number 7, Alabama. I think honestly, as they stand, not like in terms of like if they were to play each other or anything, but as they stand from what I've seen on the field, TCU, Alabama, Oregon, 6, 7, 8, all interchangeable. So
I agree.
That's my top 6. That's where I'm at. Clemson's going to get exposed this weekend, obviously, by Notre Dame.
Definitely.
Georgia's going to fall off because they got a loss. So we're probably going to see somebody we don't want to see in the top 4 by the name of
100%.
Roll Tide. But
sorry, that was weird.
Yeah. So Maddie, did you have your top 6 ready, or am I just going straight to the actual top 10?
You can go straight to the top 10.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to read off all the top 10. We definitely have one that we're going to want to talk about
100%.
big time. Number 1, we got Tennessee. 2, not Oklahoma State, definitely not.
Wow.
Ohio State. 3 is Georgia. 4 is Clemson. 5, Michigan. 6, Bama. 7, TCU. Number 8 is Oregon. Number 9, USC. And number 10 is UC. Oh, wait, what the LSU? What the fuck?
That is not No.
LSU?
No.
Wait, hold on.
No.
Nah.
I must have read that wrong.
No, you read it right. Unfortunately,
because-
you read that right.
What? Where?
Didn't they have a bye
I
week
don't know
last
where
week?
that came from.
I'm
I
sorry.
know-
I'm not normally one to say stuff like this, but I have never seen a more perfect way for Alabama to get a padded stat for them to jump back into the fucking conversation.
100%.
They're already number 6 in the nation. Oh, a win against the 10th ranked LSU Tigers? What the fuck, bro?
But that puts LSU at a 3-loss team.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, but
It doesn't make any
number
sense.
10, they're not going to look at, oh, this team barely lost to Alabama. This team barely beat Alabama. Like, they don't look at that. It's a win or a lose. And in this case, I don't even understand. Number 10 in the nation. What have they done? Who does
Nothing.
They just snuck them up there like nobody was going to realize. Like,
Nope.
other than that, I pretty much agree with the top 25. I would have Notre Dame in the top 25 over a Texas team. You can make the argument that Texas has the better losses, but Notre Dame has the better wins. So it's interchangeable. That's the only two I'm on. But the LSU one, that blew my mind, dude.
I also, at number 9, I had UCLA in my prediction because UCLA beat Utah and USC lost to Utah. Other than that, their strength of schedule has been similar. So UCLA, USC have to be in the top 10 in my opinion, but UCLA is better. LSU should maybe not even be in the top 15 as of now. Yes, I understand they have a couple ranked wins, but they jumped from unranked to like 16.
No, they showed that ranked wins don't matter. Notre Dame has
even
3
so,
ranked wins.
I don't think they have a ranked win, or maybe one against Mississippi. They have one because Tennessee blew them out of the water.
Ranked at the time. They're not ranked anymore.
Yeah, right.
They have no ranked wins after
number 11. They were number 11 at that time. So
yeah, I'm just shocked by that. The fact that LSU somehow got into the top 10.
Is LSU's losses to top ranked teams?
No, it's to a 4-4 Florida State team and to Tennessee. But still,
they're gonna lose next week.
Nothing has justified a jump to the number 10 spot in any way, shape, or form. It's absolutely ridiculous. I
Their
think
wins haven't been impressive.
They're padding the stats for an Alabama team that needs it. They're bleeding heavy. Alabama has shown major weaknesses across all assets. Everything in this season has basically gone wrong for Alabama. They've just been able to pull out some of the other ones. So they're an 8-0 team or whatever, 7-0 team, rather than a 4-3 team or 5-3. Like,
yeah,
this blows my mind to see LSU at number 10. Other than that, I do think that they got the rankings right for the most part. What do you guys think about that? Like,
well, I think almost a lot of them kind of stayed stagnant. I think from 6 through 9 stayed stagnant. I like the Vols jump. That made me happy. I was a little shocked that Georgia fell to 3 and didn't go to 2. But
yeah, I can see that.
That was the only one I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
they still won their game very well. So 42-20. I think they did a very good job against Florida.
In my opinion, it should be the number 4 team is Michigan. If you put them at number 4, the top 4 are interchangeable. I think Tennessee deserves the number 1 spot, but Ohio, Michigan, Georgia, I think they're all, you can put them anywhere. The fact that Clemson is up there, that's actually one thing I just said. I agree with the rest of it. I don't agree with that. Whatever, Notre Dame will take that better win against number 4.
The reason Clemson is up there is because Clemson's strength of schedule is a lot stronger than Michigan's strength of schedule.
No. I don't want to hear none of that now. No, we're going to talk about this later, but no shot. No,
we're still talking about the top 10.
Ass, bro. No shot.
I understand, but Michigan's only top 25 win came against Penn State. Clemson has 3 top 25 teams that they have won. They beat I don't remember them off the top of my head. I would have to go back and look, but they have 3 top 25 teams that they beat. So their strength of schedule when it comes to that is stronger
Okay, so
than Michigan.
This takes us right to the
State.
next topic then, because we're going to go over the week 9 games that we talked about. But I'm going to bring up a couple things for you here, because the strength of schedule, Clemson, look at these last 2 games that you're talking about here. Clemson barely squeezed by Syracuse after trailing 21-7 at half. They beat them by 6 points, 27-21, right? Syracuse then went on to get absolutely throttled by Notre Dame. 44-24, okay? So that automatically makes Clemson's win look even worse, okay? It already was a good win. Syracuse is a good team, but they're no I wouldn't even say they're as good as like a Texas A&M. And not saying a lot because Texas A&M sucks. I might actually, you know what, I might go back on that. Texas A&M sucks, but they're not as good as like a Mississippi State. Like the average in an SEC conference is way different than an average in
100% ACC.
And then let's go ahead and touch back onto another one of these games that I wanted to talk about that also kind of throws back this argument on Clemson that like maybe they're not all that, because Wake Forest, who was tied at the number 10 spot in the nation with USC, right?
Ties don't make sense.
Okay. They took Clemson to overtime. Should have won that game, in my opinion. They didn't. Clemson took it home. Good for Clemson. That looked great up until 2 days before Halloween. We have Louisville coming in to take on Wake Forest.
And beating them.
Wake Forest, by far the favorite. Nobody even batted an eye at this game. 48-21.
But that's what Wake Forest does. That's what they've done in years past. If they start doing that, they always start dropping down.
No. Let me give you a quick stat real quick here, okay?
I mean, it's the truth. We can go on and on about this, but strength of schedule does matter in the playoff rankings. And
Micah, I'm literally telling you why their strength of schedule is weak as fuck. Sam Hartman threw 6 interceptions, okay? 6.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 3 interceptions and had 6 turnovers, not the whole game, in the third quarter. 8 turnovers overall, okay? In what world do you think that is a team that is good, that makes Clemson look better? That's not a game you put on their schedule and say, that's a good win, because you can't do that with Ohio State and Notre Dame's game. Nobody in their right mind is saying that's a good win. They're saying maybe a decent win. And that's what I'd put Wake Forest and Syracuse for.
Well, no, they go back to the Ohio State and Notre Dame game and say Ohio State did not look good at all in that game, which they didn't look great in that game.
Not a good win in any aspect.
Yeah, and I mean, that could go on to Alabama barely beating Texas A&M, and then Tennessee barely beating Alabama. So would Tennessee barely be able to beat Texas A&M? You could bring this into all different type of scenarios.
But that's not the thing. Tennessee beat Alabama. Every single one of the top 5, top 6 teams have showed a weakness. Tennessee went to overtime.
Yes.
Okay. Alabama struggled against Texas A&M. Like, Alabama's shown everything. Ohio State struggled against Notre Dame. Some would say they struggled against Penn State. I think they did great. Michigan, they've played a cup.
There has been so much struggle inside that top 5 or top 10, you could say, that when you look at it, they have to go to who has the more ranked wins. Like, who has played the most ranked teams and beat them. And in that case, Michigan only has 1.
The reason I still disagree with you there is, let me find this real quick. If I can find this, that'd be fantastic. Quick, 1 sec. Okay. DJ Uyunglele. All right. This man. Uyunglele.
However you say his name.
He's leading the number 4 team in the nation right now, right? He's got 1,800 yards, on the season, not bad. 17
Not
touchdowns,
horrible.
not bad. 4 interceptions, not bad, right? Okay. All that's not bad, but if it's not bad, why is he getting replaced halfway through a game for a true freshman, Cade Klubnik, who came in and completely turned the game around to beat Syracuse?
And yeah,
No.
he
Is
had a
Tennessee having
horrible
that
game
problem?
against Syracuse.
Is Alabama having that problem? Is Michigan
No.
having that problem? Is Ohio?
But we
State
have seen Bryce Young struggle. But the thing
Every
is,
quarterback
Alabama
struggles.
doesn't
That's
ever
not
get
what I'm
right.
saying.
Exactly.
Have they gotten replaced for their backup to have that backup go and win the game? Absolutely not.
No, but that's
the only
Texas
backup
A&M,
I've ever seen-
Texas. Bryce Young wasn't able to do anything against them, but they weren't replaced. They stuck with their first string.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
who knows what the game would have turned out if DJ played the entire game? We don't know. He could have come back and scored more.
They
I
would have
mean, he
lost.
could have
100%.
lost.
They
You
would have
never
lost.
know.
It's DJ. It's the same DJ from last year. They would have lost the game. DJ Uyunglele or whatever.
Other than Syracuse, he has not had bad stats. He is up there with the top ones. CJ Stroud, he's up there with Bryce Young. He's up there with Hooker. He has those yardage, his touchdown yardage, everything to compete with them.
It's debatable.
He's not a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Clemson has a good, in my opinion, a decent schedule. The only reason I say Michigan is right below them because of the top 25 wins. They don't have other than that, their wins against every other team hasn't been outstanding. They haven't been playing great teams. That's why his stats are up there. DJ is not a great quarterback. We saw it in 2020 against Notre Dame.
He hasn't played anybody
great, but he played against Notre Dame in 2020. He was able to keep up there with Notre Dame, but that was with an outstanding Clemson. That wasn't just him that did that. That was all of their receivers. Their offensive line was huge. They had ETN. Last year, like you said,
about a championship caliber team compared to last year's team, which wasn't good, which showed that he also was not good. CJ Stroud right now. CJ Stroud right now. Listen. CJ Stroud right now has 2,300 yards with 29 touchdowns and the same 4 interceptions that DJ has.
Yeah. So he has a little more passing yards. He has like 400 more passing yards. Yes, he has 10 more touchdowns.
That's huge. 10 more touchdowns.
Yeah, that is a big difference. But he's still up there in yardage.
17 altogether.
He's still up there in yardage. I mean, and he was taking out half a game, like you said. So who knows how he could have scored? He could have had 3 passing touchdowns to put him at 20. We don't know what could have happened.
He got taken out of the game.
Yes, I understand that, but I'm sticking with what I say, and I think Clemson is the better team than Michigan.
We're debating it. That's the whole point here. That you stick with what you believe. That's good. But I'm telling you why you're wrong.
I'm telling you why your opinion does not matter right now. No, but I mean,
we haven't heard anything from you. Where do you stand? Where are you at?
I plead the 5th.
Okay, all right.
You don't want to get ripped apart.
That's fair.
No.
I don't know. I just think that Clemson. There's no argument for me for Clemson. Obviously, they're a top 10 team. I'm not saying they're not, but they're not a playoff team. They're not.
They won't make the playoffs. I really think that. I think Clemson. I don't even think Michigan's going to make the playoffs or Alabama. I think we're going to see a big change up. I don't see Alabama if they go to the SEC. I don't see them beating Georgia.
Yeah. Moving on from that, let's finish up the rest of the scores here. Not much to say here, but Oklahoma State 0, Kansas State 48. I don't know what's going on in Oklahoma this year, but losing to Texas 49-0 and then Oklahoma State losing to Kansas State 48-0
is
both sides of the ball need work.
Oklahoma just barely got over 200 all-purpose yards.
Yeah, no, it's let's see, what do we got here?
I think it was like 205.
Yeah, Spencer Sanders, 147 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, obviously no touchdowns compared to a second string, Will Howard, who I'm going to talk about a little bit more later down the line here. 21 for 37, almost 300 yards with 4 touchdowns and
Big
not a single
difference.
interception. A second string, that's not even Adrian Martinez. That's their second string backup guy, came in and put up almost 300 with 4 touchdowns
Honey,
and no interceptions. I mean, and then you got Deuce Vaughn, who's also running all over him, 158 yards with a touchdown. Look at the difference of this total offense. Oklahoma State's total offense, 217 yards, okay? Kansas State's total offense, 495 yards, almost 200 on the ground. I mean, if that doesn't indicate a total ass whooping, then I don't know what does, but major props to Kansas State.
Score.
dude, an ass whooping would have been 27-0 too. But we're talking about
I mean,
in the 40s now.
I think it was 35 at half, I think, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
What is going on down there, Maddie?
Luke ran across to sit back down.
Yeah. Do you guys want to touch on that game anymore? Are you guys ready to move on with that one?
I think it says it all. The score.
The
I think that says it all.
Says enough, right?
Not
All
much
right,
to go off of there.
I wanted to touch on this game a little bit. The USC Arizona game. What do you guys feel on that with the USC? I mean, they got the win, 45-37 over what is now a 3-5 Arizona team. Samantha, where are you at? What?
I was actually very impressed with Arizona because they kept it a game throughout the entire thing, really. And I was also very impressed with Caleb Williams' pocket awareness. He was actually very good, knowing when to scramble, knowing how to scramble, to step into the pocket, stuff like that. But USC popped ahead and they got the W. And I was just like, I got to give it to Arizona. They held them. They held them for a pretty big box fight.
Like what you were saying on Williams. I mean, he didn't have Mario Williams, and he didn't have Jordan Addison. Both of his best wide receivers, his top guys, his number 1, number 2 target, 1A, 1B, both out. All right. He still threw for 31 for 45, 411 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
68.9% completion ratio too.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's ridiculous. I mean, I hate USC as much as the next Notre Dame fan, but this guy is an animal on the field.
But
yeah,
with the USC Arizona game, this goes back to what everyone's been saying all year. USC has a great coach and a great offense. Defense is not there, and defense do win games. Of course, they beat Arizona, which they should have. They should have been a different score.
Absolutely.
Arizona only scored 22 points on Oregon, like when they played. So it's like that game. It wasn't outstanding for USC on defense, and that is not a championship caliber team. Yes, they have the offense to compete, but at the same time, we haven't seen them compete against these top teams yet.
That's why I agree with you, because I feel like it's kind of a Lincoln Riley trend. When he was back at OU, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
His defense couldn't stop anybody, but his offense was just so high powered that they were able to win these games. The only time it showed is when they got to the semifinals and they get blown out by a Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, because those teams also have that high powered offense that's going to expose your defense.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and USC is being exposed by Arizona.
Same thing. Exactly. And I mean, they did. We got to give Arizona's quarterback credit. Jaden Delora, 26 for 43, 380 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. I mean,
it wasn't a horrible
top 15
performance
team at the time, and now a top 10 team. I mean, the kid's good. We'll give him that. Arizona sucks. Nothing new. They're 3-5. Maybe they're moving forward. That's a topic for another show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to kind of list off a couple games here. Tennessee 44, Kentucky 6. Nothing to say there. Hendon Hooker's a dog. Tennessee's going all
shows who Tennessee is.
It's exactly. Yeah, we'll touch on that later. We have a whole topic on them. Ohio State 44, Penn State 31. Where do you guys think on that? Where are you guys at with that?
Let's see. The first half was nothing impressive by Ohio State. Penn State came and played. I mean, they finished off strong too. scoring 31 against them. Penn State played a lot better than they played Michigan, that's for sure. But that first half wasn't really outstanding. I think Stroud was 26 for 34, which is not bad at all. That's great. I mean, that ends up being great. They had 354 pass yards. They were throwing all over Penn State, and most of that came from the second half. Rush yards, they need to do something on run. They only had 98 total rush yards. That is not something that you need. Penn State has a decent team. Penn State came fired, and they wanted to beat Ohio State, but Ohio State needs to get that run game going. Penn State had 111 on them, so it's similar with Penn State, but it's Ohio State we're talking about. You know, their defense is supposed to be elite. Penn State is still building from years past where they barely had a winning season in the last 3-4 years. So to have that low of rush yards isn't that bad, but they ended up their passing yards 371. They were throwing all over Ohio State again.
And that's where I was going to touch on that. 32 for 47, 371, 3 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions for Sean Clifford. That's at the end of the day, great game. You're not going to see him play another game like that, but it's not going to be. Go ahead, Sam.
I was confused at the end of the half. I think it was like 8 seconds left, and those little petty turds, Ohio, instead of getting a field goal to take the lead, they decide, we're going to go for a touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you guys suck. I was entertained. Don't get me wrong, but
I was entertained, but don't. Yeah. So again, not much to talk about there. I think that's a great win for Ohio State. Maybe they didn't look as good as some would say Michigan did, but they look like Ohio State. Michael was talking about Penn State's defense. I could put the argument out there that Ohio State's also building. They just got Jim Knowles from Oklahoma.
That's also very true.
They haven't had an elite defense. I mean, since Chase Young? It's debatable, but their defense definitely is looking better. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Tumaloa, or whatever.
Don't even get me started on some of these people's last names.
I can't pronounce his name, but that dude had a day, bro. I mean, it's ridiculous. Props to him. Props to Ohio State for getting the job done. Great weekend for them. I can't take it away from them. Maybe it kind of shut down some of the other guys talking about maybe they're fake, maybe they're real. I think that kind of shows that they're Ohio State. You know, we're going to see until the end of the
Caleb,
game.
hey, the Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Get it right.
That's why this is just the goal line, not the goal line podcast.
Yeah. Ohio State owns it.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on. I want to know, what is your guys' opinion? All right, so we all know how we feel about Tennessee, but is this for real? Do you guys think they're getting exposed this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah? You think Tennessee's getting exposed at Georgia?
I don't think they're going to lose the game per se. I think that they're going to be awakened to some things.
Like what, though? Like, in what way do you think they're getting exposed? Their offense? Because they're facing defense?
I think because of Stetson Bennett, dude. That kid's an animal. I think their defense is going to have to try to play against them on a whole other level. Like Dejon Edwards, he's a freaking beast. I just think that they need to prep themselves as much as possible. But I think at the same time, Georgia's going to get exposed too. They're both going to be like, oh, shit. So they're better than I thought.
It's going to be like the Alabama game, basically. Kind of a shootout to the end.
I hope so. I think that'd be more entertaining. I mean, not for Tennessee fans or Georgia fans, but
that's
for football fans.
A good game. I just think because Tennessee's finally facing – I don't know much about Georgia's secondary, but I think in general Georgia's defense is good. They're not as good as last year, but they're a fantastic defense. And I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a real challenge for Hendon Hooker. I don't know if we're going to see that high-scoring game because I have to disagree with you. Don't get me wrong, Stetson Bennett, I mean, he proved everybody wrong. He got that national championship. He's not doing that without that defense last year, whatever, different show. I don't think he is this Heisman contender, fantastic quarterback. He's great, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see him being some guy that's gonna, go out and murder defenses that are elite. Like, the only thing that you can argue is that, like, who has an elite defense this year?
I don't think anyone truly has an elite.
I mean, you can just throw the ball over the top on Tennessee. Alabama did it. That's why Bryce Young had such a game.
Yep.
But I mean, who is Georgia going to go play? That's gonna. I mean, they murdered a Florida team that sucks as well. Like, it's not going to be a Georgia of 2021 style defense out there that's going to put these teams on the edge and like really test their quarterbacks. That's what I feel. Maybe Ohio State's good enough. I still don't feel that they're there yet. But I don't know. I think Tennessee's going to clean this one up. I have Tennessee winning by at least a touchdown. I think they're going to kind of take control of the game like they did versus Alabama, but they're not going to let Georgia really pull up close like that.
I'm hoping it's a 2-score game, so that way there's not much anxiety involved. That it's more of like a
more interesting.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I agree with Caleb a lot in some ways.
No way. Me and Micah
I'll get
agree.
out of here.
What?
I know, right?
No way. Hey, we can end the show. Great show tonight, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Have a good night.
I think the defense of Georgia, I mean, like you said last year, and they were an elite defense. And it goes back to this year. I don't think anybody truly has an elite defense in general. I mean, we saw it in the Tennessee-Alabama game. I mean, those are two top-tier teams, and you're seeing these teams
throw it over the top on
high scoring. So I think Georgia is going to be really tested on defense this game, and this is the game where we're going to actually see how Georgia's defense actually is. Yeah, they did great against Georgia. Or, I mean, not Georgia. They did good against themselves, guys. No, they did good against Oregon, only allowing 3 points. That was a little bit of a hoax because then we saw Missouri score, 22 points. So I think Georgia, the only way they're going to be able to stop Booker and Hyatt is having two safeties in the back and covering those long balls. They're going to have to play zone the entire game. But then that leaves the run game open. So we're going to see a lot of different stuff. I think I don't have them by 7. I do think Tennessee might be able to pull this one off, though. I think it's going to be a little close, closer than 7. I think by a field goal.
Do you know who's favored? I think it's still Georgia, right?
Yeah, Tennessee's still the underdog. I don't know the
that's one
spread.
thing. Where is this Georgia, like, what did they do to like deserve to be this like favored team against? I just don't get it.
I think it goes back to Stetson Bennett. But like you said, Caleb, he's not a Heisman contender this year. He wasn't even last year, though. That's the thing, though. He kind of sneaks up. He will not. I think he might finish top 5, maybe top 10 in the Heisman race. Yeah. I don't think he won't actually win the Heisman. He's just, like you said, he's not a Heisman contender, but he does have the receivers. He's got
great receivers, and he's got good rushing game. As far as his running backs go. But in all seriousness, a football game is more interesting, more entertaining, and you win a lot more games if you have a good passing game, which we all know that discussion goes with someone we know.
We'll talk about that with Notre Dame for sure. I got the game pulled up right here on ESPN, dude. Georgia's favored, like they got this little matchup predictor. Georgia's favored 75%. There's like 25% chance that Tennessee wins. We got, where are we at?
It's because people still aren't sold.
Okay. I need you guys to guess what the line is on this right now. What do you guys think? Like, we know Georgia's favored. What do you guys think Georgia's favored by?
12 points.
Percentage-wise or points-wise?
Points-wise.
12.
What are they favored?
You're saying 12?
21.
I feel like I'm going to say 17.
And he chimes in with a 21. What'd you say, Cynthia?
17.
Okay. Now you guys made it look like it's like nothing. It's 8.5.
Oh.
But where are they finding this? What are they seeing that we're not? What is this Georgia team? Because I mean,
I don't know.
I think their defense for Georgia, they only got. Did they even get any turnovers? I think they only got like 3 sacks.
I don't know, but we were talking about Stetson Bennett being like this dog, like he's so good. Yeah, he's got 2,349 yards. He's got 9 touchdowns to 3 interceptions all season. Hendon Hooker is 2,338 yards, so he's right next to him in yards, literally by 10 yards. He's 10 yards less than Stetson Bennett. But he's got 21 touchdowns and 1 interception. Where's Georgia scoring their points?
I mean, run game. But they also haven't had
They
a
have
high
that good
scoring
of a rushing-
season.
Rushing
They,
attack?
but if you even look against all their teams, they're not putting up the points like they did last year.
I mean,
They haven't been
I don't know
able to
what
put
I'm
up the
looking at,
points.
but that just blew my mind. Honestly, no, bro. Their rushing leader, Edwards, right now, 71 carries for 440 yards and 7 touchdowns. 440 yards is not a lot.
Nope.
Not for
I mean, all
Not
3 of
for-
Notre Dame running backs are close to 500 yards.
Well, yeah, let me show you real quick what I have. Bijan Robinson and Deuce Vaughn, they're already both over 900 yards. Bijan Robinson's got 920 and Deuce Vaughn's got 902.
what's Stetson's rushing yards? I wonder what he's got.
How many rushing touchdowns does Stenson have?
I think
Let's see.
I don't want to guess. I don't want to be wrong. If he has more than passing, I'm gonna be really upset.
There's no shot. He's got a lot of passing yards compared to most, which is I think why he's got
For some reason, I'm talking about touchdowns after I asked for the rush yards.
he's 13th in yards of passing, but he's tied for 82nd in touchdown passes. That's insane to
Too
me.
bad.
I can't find nothing on his.
I mean, even Pine is close to 9 touchdowns.
I know, man. That's crazy to me. I didn't know that. But what do you got? Where you guys at? Who do you guys got? I got Tennessee covering,
Balls.
winning outright.
Balls.
I'm going back and
Oh,
forth,
Mike is thinking. Oh God. What
but
do we
Got
got?
Tennessee.
I actually think that people are still underestimating Tennessee. But I think Tennessee will come out on top. I don't think it'll be a high scoring shootout like we saw against Alabama, but I think Tennessee is going to be able to throw over Georgia and end up pulling it off. I don't think by a touchdown. I think it'll be by 3 points maybe, but I got Tennessee. I think they'll
Mike
pull
is saying
off
the
the
Georgia
upset.
defense is getting exposed this weekend. Okay.
I do.
All right. Well, Maddie doesn't want to say anything, I guess.
I said I got Tennessee.
When did you say that?
Probably while I was talking.
Yeah.
Just now.
Why is that, Maddie? Why do you got Tennessee? Let's hear. Let's hear something.
I don't want to talk. Why?
Please. For everybody that's wondering, Maddie doesn't really know the stats of football. She just knows Notre Dame. She,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
She's more,
moving last weekend, so I have no idea what happened last weekend except for the Notre Dame game.
Yeah. So that if you guys
I don't
have
even know about that.
Notre Dame, you can probably ask Maddie, and she might know. Or not. She probably just knows the score of the game and if we won or lost.
Yeah, for the most part.
All right. Well, speaking of Notre Dame, let's go ahead and talk about their win over Syracuse. I think that's there's a lot to talk about with that one.
No.
Let's start off with the Drew Pine and his performance. Where are you guys at? 9 for 19, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 116 yards passing.
I wasn't stoked at all. I was actually more pissed off, and I talked to you guys about it. It really, I really want to see more passing because Tommy Rees, and they need to work on something with this quarterback because you cannot continuously win games by running the ball every play. That's going to down the clock, and that's not going to get you anywhere. What if you're falling behind because you ran down the clock?
It's like, I don't know. You can't. I mean, I understand why we did it because we made Syracuse's front 7 look like freaking like 8th graders.
Pansies.
Yeah, they were tiny. We overpowered them. I mean, there was points where we were pushing them 3 or 4 yards down the field, past the first down line to get the first down. Like, I understand the need to run, but you have the run game in your pocket. Your quarterback needs that time.
He needs that confidence.
Settle down, the confidence to get going. Why are we not throwing the cool? We scored 44 points, but our quarterback barely broke 100 yards passing and threw the ball 20 times.
So
Well,
I
that's the
think
thing. The front seven had that. We had that front seven kind of on lock when it came to running. Their pass rush was not much to write home about. It's just I feel like Drew Pine kind of freaks out in the pocket and he doesn't know where the ball is supposed to go. That's what it looks like from an outside perspective.
so.
Sometimes he's organized. Sometimes he's like, "Here you go."
I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
have
Tim.
to say after the Stanford game or during the Stanford game, his confidence was shot. At the time before coming into Stanford, his completion percentage was over 70% in the games he had played total for the season. And
Right.
coming in that Stanford game, he had a terrible game, and I think that game it screwed his confidence because then following the Stanford game was not great. He had a decent game. He had a couple good plays. And now it's just like we seen him last week, and it's just he's scared. He's playing scared, and he's second guessing his throws. When he's throwing short to that line of scrimmage, you see him just kind of being hesitant and not trusting his throw. And
Well,
I
that's
think
exactly
that
what it is.
if we go back to the North Carolina game with Drew Pine looked amazing. He was a great quarterback. And he has the potential.
Great,
but he needs not okay. I shouldn't say great for him, like how he's been playing the last couple of games. He's not great. He's not a Heisman contender by no means.
Yeah.
But if he's able to go and play like North Carolina against Clemson, we'll see a whole different layout. The thing is, though, we're running the ball right now because we have a three-headed monster.
Well,
we do, but
not denying that. But I'm just saying,
we don't trust our quarterback.
The issue
right
is
now.
He's not consistent. Every other game, he's like, "Oh, okay, I can throw the ball." The other games, no, I can't throw the ball. And we're like, dude, we need some type of consistency.
We saw a little bit at the end of the second half where he drove that 1 minute offense to score, and he had some good throws. He had that 35-yard ball to Mayer, and then that 3-yard out to was it Thomas? I believe
that's the thing. When he's in his groove and he's going, he's a quarterback. But when he's not, he's not feeling himself. He's not throwing the ball. He makes one mistake, and all of a sudden, this dude forgets what he's been doing for the rest of the 18 years.
He's better under pressure. He's better under pressure.
I want to say that.
The only reason I say that because we've seen him with 10 plus seconds in the pocket, and he does not moving. He's staying stagnant in the pocket, and then he's going trying to get away or extend the play, and then he's getting sacked. When he has enough time in the pocket, he can't make a play.
Which is that's a bad thing for a quarterback.
It is bad.
Too.
100%.
He also, I would agree with you that he's better in certain areas when it comes down to being under pressure, but not every single time. And that's where it comes down to the consistency thing. If you can't do it under pressure and you can't do it with pressure,
I've been saying it all year. We need a mix of Buckner and Pine. Buckner can run.
We need Jack Cohen back. We just need somebody that's not the quarterbacks we have. I hate.
Dude, even Kaiser.
Hate all of them.
Yeah, it's bad. Especially when you have somebody like freaking Mayer, dude. You just throw it in his direction. He'll get it.
Yeah, he's getting enough play, but like he's not being used to his potential. And like Drew Pine, he doesn't extend plays well. Yeah, he has a good pocket presence, but as soon as the slightest hint of him needing to escape or get rid of that ball super quick,
he gets
step up in the pocket, he doesn't know what to do. He runs for his life, or he gets scared, makes dumb passes. It's just like
I think
if he can't put that together and figure out like, okay, I'm gonna step out of the pocket here. Let me tuck the ball and run for 5 yards rather than just throw it away and take up a third down. The only reason he's so-called good under pressure is because he puts himself in situations where he's under pressure. If he's playing a good game, we're not under pressure. He doesn't have to worry about that. There's no under pressure sense or aspect of it. We should be blowing out a Stanford team, a California team, a Marshall team. But for some reason, we just can't do that.
And I think because we've seen sparks from Drew Pine that gives us hope, that he has the
But he's
potential to
3 years
grow.
deep.
But
There's
then
no
he goes,
hope.
but 3 years deep, but he's had Ian Book, he's had Jack Cohn,
But where
and
does that
then
got
Tyler
him?
Buck. I mean, but look at Ian Book. I mean, yeah, he's not playing in the NFL right now, but he's in the NFL. Ian Book was, he's not, Pine's not
There's no
playing over
comparison.
Ian Book as a
Pine
freshman.
isn't even close.
Even Cohn.
I think Pine has a
But
lot of.
He does. But we saw Pine come in for Cohn and come back against Wisconsin.
The thing is, a building season is 1 year of football, and that'll be what, his 4th year going into next year?
Yeah,
This
but
is his first year.
You're
This
having
is
a
his
building
first year
quarterback
playing
into the
football.
4th year. That's
Maddie?
rough.
I said this is like his first year playing though. Like
This
he was
is his first year.
100% his first year and his last. No
Yeah.
matter what, he's not going to be playing quarterback next year, and I don't think Tyler Buckner will, or
I don't either.
Steven Jelly. There's none of the guys that we see now are gonna be playing. Marcus Freeman knows he doesn't have a quarterback. He's not.
The only thing I would say
He's gonna go and get it. He's gonna go on the recruiting trail, and he's gonna hopefully pull a CJ Carr or somebody of that stature that's gonna put a spark in this offense, because we cannot go like this. We have such a great run game that just gets worn down because we can't throw the ball anywhere. It's not going to work. That's why our offense is losing us these games. Our defense.
we need to recruit someone that's going to be a junior, because then they have 2 years at Notre Dame. That gives Carr in 2024 a second string spot his freshman year, and then his sophomore year he could take over.
I would love a transfer from like a good quarterback, like an Adrian Martinez situation where he wasn't good, and then he transfers to a school and all of a sudden he's a freaking baller. Like, I'd love that.
But don't forget, we do understand where he's coming from. He got thrown in the rough really quickly, but at the same time, you are assigned a job.
And it's time. It's like
you're assigned that job. You have to step up and do
your big boy pants on and stop.
The backup quarterback is you never know when the next play is going to be. And
quarterbacks are hired and recruited for passing. Like that is like the number one goal. Anybody can hand off a damn football. Shit, I did it. Anybody could do that. It's a simple job.
That's
for
true.
those that don't know, Samantha was a quarterback in youth football. She was probably one of the best quarterbacks out of any of the kids that played. So
what can I say?
There's not enough space in this Zoom meeting for that head to grow anymore, Caleb.
For what?
I think there is.
For Samantha head to grow any bigger.
I know, she sucked ass. All right. I do want to talk about the fact that Syracuse mounted a comeback, and for once in our existence, we did not give it up. We just played them and won the game. We can throw this back to the Oklahoma State bowl game, 28-7. They mount a comeback, and we fight them for it a little bit. We're like,
38.
And then we're like, never mind, here you go. Here's the game. But this time, Syracuse mounts a comeback. They're looking good. All the momentum's going their way. And then next thing you know,
an interception.
Like, just kidding. Give me that. Where did that come from?
I'm just messing with you.
One thing that gave me some hope is that even if a team starts to play from behind, is our defense finally going to be able to put up that fight that keeps us in the game, even if our offense isn't doing their job? Yeah, our rushing attack saved us, but like, it was nice to see us have a team start to come back, but then also take care of business. And not only close, we downright destroyed them 44-24. Like, we outplayed Syracuse even when they tried to mount the comeback, and I think that was great.
It was a great spark that we needed, for sure.
Yeah,
we needed that.
I think that was good for us going into this massive game against a now top 4 opponent, which, I mean, if we get that win and we are not in the top 25,
we're going to have an issue.
I'll probably just be mad and talk about it on next week's episode. But I think that's good for us coming up into that. But anything else you guys want to talk about from that game?
No, not so much.
Not really.
Okay.
I think I said what I need to say.
Staying on the Notre Dame trend here, why don't we go ahead and touch on the Notre Dame versus Clemson under the lights at Notre Dame Stadium. Look at that ugly dude in the corner.
What's up, Mini Muscles?
Let me just say, I wish I was going to that game.
Yeah.
I wish I was too.
Quite the game. We got a top 5, now top 4 ranked Clemson team coming in here. I think they're wounded. Yeah, they're coming off a bye week, so maybe that's good for them, but
they're going to be exposed on offense.
They're only favored by 4 points. That's with the home field advantage baked in for Notre Dame.
Is that the official?
What's that?
Is that the official? Because I've seen stuff from going from 4 to all the way to 12-point favorites.
I'm just going based off. I get these stats and info off of ESPN app.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right. I've seen a lot of different ones. I've heard people say 12.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure somewhere out there you can get a 12, a 10. Right now, based off of what I'm seeing, Clemson -4 favorite. Over-unders at 44.5. Again, we were talking about DJ earlier. I don't see him playing well against a good defense, and Notre Dame has a good defense.
That is our only plus this year.
Say our corners might be a little bit of an issue. I think we're good. I think it's okay.
I think we're going to seeing how Brandon Joseph has been playing especially last game. I think we're going to see you're not going to be able to throw over the top. I mean, we saw that with Q's. They threw over the top, and there was an interception in the end zone. Got overturned for an offsides, but you're not going to be able to throw over the top if we have him in the backfield.
I agree. DJ is not looking like a great quarterback again, just like he didn't look like it last year. It's a big game. He really hasn't had, maybe you can say the NC State game was similar to this, but it was at home. You're at a home environment. This weekend is going to be a wild Notre Dame crowd ready to take down a top 5 team just for the fun of it, for no advantage to us. I don't.
Yeah, we won't even get a New Year's 6 this year.
Yeah, I don't. I don't see Clemson coming in here with DJ, and especially not Cade. Cade is not going to be ready for a game at a Notre Dame stadium. If it's not.
I say DJ becomes 0-2 against Notre Dame. I think it's going to be I won't say a high scoring game. I will take the under for this one, just because I just think how Clemson played against Syracuse and Notre Dame's defense. We've been holding teams to below their average all year, and I think that we're gonna hold Clemson to under 20.
I agree with you on that point. I'm taking the over because Notre Dame scoring 44 points again. I don't care. That's what I'm saying. We're going 3 straight 40-point games.
Let's do it.
Happy home winner.
Also, I'm saying the wrong score. Notre Dame was 41. I'm thinking of Ohio State and Tennessee's 44 points. Whatever, we put up 40 points. We're going to do the same thing this weekend. Clemson's going to get shut down on offense. Their defense is good, but I think
we're going to see 3+ turnovers
down their throats. I think Drew Pine's going to be able to kind of open it up with the RPO and kind of bait them in. Clemson's knowingly have these 3 running backs that can just – one of them can just absolutely run through you. The other 2 can just run around you. Like, honestly, Diggs can run through you or around you. He's very dynamic.
If Chris Tyree gets in the open –
yeah,
if Tyree gets in the open, he's gone.
I don't see Clemson being prepared for the offense because I don't know what they expect from Drew Pine, and I can promise you they don't either. I'm hoping Tommy Rees can kind of open up the playbook a little bit. We're not going to beat Clemson running it like we did against Syracuse. We got to get Drew Pine going, man. That's
I call a big play on special teams, not necessarily just a block punt. I think we'll see Brandon Joseph be able to take one to the house, or even Chris Tyree on kick return. Take one to the house. I see it happen.
We need the points where we can get them. Yeah. What was that, Sam?
I said let's get Isaiah Foskey on another block.
I know, right? I mean,
get him a hat trick for the year.
Everywhere all the podcasts I'm listening to, everyone's like, let's please look towards Notre Dame. Let's expose Clemson. Let's get them out of this conversation so we can move on and get the real people up there. I agree. Notre Dame's going to take it.
I got Notre Dame too.
I just don't see Clemson coming in there.
I have Notre Dame by 14 though.
14. All right, Mike. I'm gonna come back to that one. But if you got Clemson scoring 24 points or 20 points and Notre Dame winning
Less
by
than
14,
20.
you got to take the over there, buddy.
Yeah, I think we could actually hold them to 10 points if I'm being honest. I'm just saying
bro,
under
that's
20.
hilarious. I'm
I
fine
don't know
with
about that.
I hope that
I would
happens.
love it. I don't know about that though.
We'll definitely have to see about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the game coming up this weekend.
I get where you're coming
4:30
from
our
though,
time.
because our defense could do it. I get what you're coming from.
Our defense has the potential. Our offense has to
Have
be
to
on the
play the
field.
way we did last week. Full game.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Maddie, you want to say anything about Notre Dame before we hop off that topic and move on to week 10?
You better.
Oh yeah.
Please.
No, I got Notre Dame by 7 though. This coming weekend.
Okay.
We'll see. I think I have a little more faith in our quarterback, so I think he's going to step up this weekend. I feel it, and I see because I think he has the potential to be a great quarterback.
Somebody's got to trust him, I guess.
He's just struggling getting there, but we'll figure it out, and I think it's going to be a good weekend for us.
We'll even work early for it.
That's funny.
I don't work this weekend. Let's
Well,
go.
There you go.
Hopping off of Notre Dame. I'm sure everybody's all pissed off that we've been talking about them. Let's move on to the slate of games we got this weekend. Not really that interesting of a weekend other than the Tennessee-Georgia game we talked about. I got 3 games lined up here that I want to talk about. I lied. I got 2 games lined up here that I want to talk about.
I was like, we already talked about
Just
one of
talked
them.
about one of them. The other 2, Alabama at LSU. Okay, the fake ass
Against
number 10
Kent.
team. Somehow they jumped over everybody else. The number 10 bullshit, whatever. Alabama is favored by 13.5 points. The
Yeah,
over-under is
good
58.
favorite.
It's going to be a high-scoring game on Alabama's part. LSU is going to get absolutely murdered, just like Tennessee did to him. Jaden Daniels is a great quarterback, but he's not elite. He's not top 10. LSU is not top 10. I'm pissed off talking about LSU being top 10. Fuck LSU.
Question.
What?
Because we're ND fans and we've always been these type of fans. We are Notre Dame fans and anybody that's playing against Alabama. I don't know how I feel about going into this game. I don't like LSU at all.
I don't know what to do with this game. I don't know who to go
Right?
for.
I know it's tough because it's not even Brian Kelly. Like I can't hate the guy. He did great things for us. He made us a blue
He
blood
turned
again.
around our program.
But like just the fact that once I saw LSU at number 10, I was just like appalled. Like
Yeah.
for once in my life, I was speechless. I'm like, how do you put a 2-loss LSU team over a 2-loss Utah team over UCLA? Like, what did LSU
Because
do?
they're SEC.
Show me what LSU did.
That's when it comes to the SEC bias. That's all it comes down to is
The only
Listen.
one they won was it Ole Miss or was it? It was
Ole Miss. Yeah, they beat
it
Ole
was,
Miss.
right?
No.
42 like. Yeah, they did.
Was it? Or was it
Yeah,
Mississippi
hold on. I
State?
wrote it
They
down.
murdered.
Yeah.
They murdered Ole Miss.
Yeah.
it was.
They were down what was it? 17-3 at half. They outscored
And
them
they shut
42-3 in the second
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, that's a great game, but Ole Miss is frauds too. Don't even get me started there. I don't want to hear nothing.
No, I know.
Suck ass.
That's why I don't understand how they jumped to 10 on a bye week.
I've never want to say
Everyone in
this
the top
in my
10
life.
won.
I never want to say this in my life, but Alabama's going to win this game. They're going to cover in this game, and they're going to put LSU back into the fucking middle of nowhere, unranked bullshit ass fucking LSU that they should be this year. No
Louisiana.
reason should they be up there. The only reason they are up there, right? If Alabama somehow loses to LSU this weekend, it's going to be, oh, well, it was a number 10 team. Alabama slides back to number 8. LSU jumps up to number 9, or vice versa. LSU 8, Alabama 9. Guess what? We're going to have our first fucking 2-loss team in the playoffs this year because Alabama's there. They don't want to put TCU in. Clemson's overrated. This is it. They're padding the stat in this one, and I hate sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but why on earth is LSU number 10 the week before they play Alabama when Alabama already has 1 loss? It's
The world
I
may
can't
never know.
say anything other than they want a two-loss Alabama in over anybody else.
I mean, LSU is not going to be even a challenge. I
agree 100%.
I have Alabama by 21, and I think Brian Kelly stays with a losing record and continues his losing streak of not being able to beat a top 10 team.
To take 10.
And it's also known. It's so people say it's just because it's Notre Dame. He was at Notre Dame. Listen, it's his first year at LSU. He's not going to change that. LSU wasn't great last year.
What did he do at Tennessee? 40-13. That's what he did. 40-13. So what makes you think he's going to go in and beat the team that lost to that same fucking Tennessee? Like, it pisses me off. LSU is getting exposed for the third time this season. There's nothing else to it. Alabama.
The only time you'll see me go for Bama.
If I'm not even going to go, I'm going for LSU. I'm rooting for them, but they're getting exposed. I'm speaking the truth.
Yes.
I'll never root for Alabama. There's nobody I hate more than Alabama.
Shut up, Ian.
That's it.
It's not such enough.
But yeah, so all right. The next game right here I find this one kind of interesting because they're the two teams that blew out both the Oklahoma teams. We got Texas at number 13, Kansas State. Is Kansas State still number 13? Where are they at? Hold on.
I think they dropped. They jumped to 13. I think.
Well, they were 13 in the AP. Yeah, they're still 13 in the top 25 college football rankings, playoff rankings.
As far as quarterback comparison, I'm taking Texas.
Okay, so
I disagree.
Yeah, I might have to disagree too. But listen, Texas.
Wow.
That's twice in one
wait,
video. We're agreeing.
Okay, Texas is.
I don't know if I
favored in
agree
this
with
game.
this.
Why is Texas favored in this game?
Why are you attacking me?
Because of
I'm
their
attacking
game against
whoever
Alabama.
makes these fucking decisions, bro. LSU at number 10, Texas favored over Kansas State. I guess I gotta say number 24 Texas now. Fuck them. No, they're not. 3 times they've been exposed this year. Maybe you can say they did great against Alabama. Cool. Most fucking teams did this year. That's not that much of a feat. Quinn Ewers got embarrassed last week. He didn't look good. Where is this plus or minus 2.5 over a Kansas State team that just murdered the number 9 team in the nation 48-0? It's not like Texas beat Oklahoma when Oklahoma was number 4. No, Oklahoma was like barely a 500 team. So this weird thing that people got for Texas this year, in my opinion, it's got to go, bro. It's ridiculous. How is Texas a favored team over Kansas State, who has looked fantastic? Yeah, they lost to Tulane, but Tulane's ranked above Texas.
Yeah.
Where's your point?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. They lost to TCU. Yeah, no shit. TCU's number 7. Explain to me what Texas did to deserve to be favored.
I just looked up the stats for both quarterbacks, and now I'm looking at it. Martinez, he has less passing yards and a little bit less touchdowns, but 0 interceptions. Ewers has, I think, 5.
Yeah.
But if he even
interceptions.
plays, we're probably going to be seeing Will Howard play.
Yeah, that's what I got down. Will Howard, 521 yards, 6 touchdowns and 1 interception over 2 games. Okay. Quinn Ewers was only out 3 games, so that means he's played at least 5 games. He's only got 11 touchdowns. That's not even double what Will Howard has. Howard's lit up Oklahoma State last weekend. And yeah, sure, Oklahoma State.
4 touchdowns.
But he's got 6 touchdowns over 2 games. Quinn Ewers has 1,100 yards compared to Will Howard already has 500 over 2 games. If you do the math, Will Howard is the better quarterback here. I think it's going to come down to Bijan Robinson and Deuce Vaughn and who can run that ball better. Because these aren't great defenses, but we've seen both of them be able to handle teams until the end, 49-0 and 48-0.
I kind of forgot about Will Howard, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, even if Adrian, good Lord. I almost said Adrian Peterson. Adrian Martinez, even if he plays, they're gonna murder Texas here. I think Texas is a good team, much improved, but they're still Texas. They're not back. They're the same Texas as of yesterday, as of last year, as of 2 years ago. They're not back. They're not going to be back until maybe next year. We'll have this conversation again, but they're not back. Kansas State's going to clean the floor with them. I'd pick Kansas State to cover. To win outright. Texas is not winning this game. And if they do, I'll eat crow. Just like I need to eat crow because fucking Kansas State murdered Oklahoma State, and I said the exact opposite was going to happen. I'll do the same thing here if Texas wins. But in my opinion, there's no shot. Quinn Ewers is going to have an absolute day to outplay Will Howard and Kansas State, in my opinion.
Agreed. I think you kind of hit the point. I think Kansas State is just the overall better team. We saw it against Oklahoma State. We all had Oklahoma State favored.
Yeah, every one of us did. Even Vegas. Wait. No, Vegas did not.
No, Vegas had Oklahoma. Or no, they had Oklahoma State. Vegas had Oklahoma State.
Yeah, either way, I don't know. I just think.
But I think the only way Texas can do it is if their defense steps up to the plate. And even their offense though, after shutting out an Oklahoma State team, I mean they're gonna have to. Their Texas offense has to show up. I mean Kansas State defense is on point right now. They're coming off a complete shutout against a top 10 team. You're gonna see that same defense, if not better, this coming week against Texas.
Right. Well, I agree. I hope we see that same defense, the same offense. I want Texas to lose. I want Alabama to lose, but I also want LSU to lose. So,
can you have a tie?
I was gonna say, would you settle for a tie?
I hope as Brandon Walker would say, I hope a fucking tornado hits the stadium at LSU, so we don't got to watch that game. All right, yeah. So let's move on here. There's another thing that Samantha brought up before the show here when we were kind of briefing each other for the show. Michigan State and Michigan, that fight in the tunnel. Samantha, I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one because go ahead. I'm gonna stop talking here. Go for it.
I don't understand what the hell was going on. I listened to the interview from Harbaugh, and it sounded very
Harbaugh. She said Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Shut up. Anyway, Harbaugh. I listened to his interview, and it was very like police are going to handle it from here on out. It's going to be a criminal investigation, all this stuff.
Wow.
What happened in it? Yeah, it was pretty flippin' weird, but I'm just confused as to why those two players were in there when the rest of the team was outside waiting to go in the tunnel. I'm very confused by the whole situation.
So that's the thing. I saw a video before I knew any of this happened. I just saw the video of number one from Michigan. I don't know what his name is, but he ran into the tunnel like along with Michigan State players. And I saw that. I just thought that was the end of it. That was before I knew of anything. And I was listening to Unnecessary Roughness this morning, and they're talking about like basically him getting assaulted. So I look at the video and I watch it and all this. I mean, this dude got jumped. There's nothing to it. Michigan State, fully padded, helmets on, swinging their helmets at this dude. The guys that had it off, like he got hit in the head, I think the shoulder and the back with a helmet.
Yeah.
I don't care if this dude went in there and started fucking, I don't know what he could have done, but like that's assault, bro. Straight up. Nothing else to it.
And I'm coming at it more as like where's the stat? Why are they allowing this? Not necessarily allowing it, but why did it?
Michigan people, Michigan State people, like dudes in like Michigan jackets and shit, like recording. They're watching this go down. Like, but at the same time, like the guy's being jumped. You're not gonna get it. If you get in there, you're gonna get hit with a helmet too.
Well,
so.
And they were talking crap on the state trooper, and I'm like, dude, what do you want him to do? He's trying to pull it off, but he also doesn't want to get hit in crossfire either. I mean, these dudes are in full pad.
And they're not trying to tase everyone going at it. I mean, I saw the videos. I saw Jim talk, and he even in his interview, he said, well, when I first got in the locker room, they said there was an issue. I didn't realize that one of my guys got jumped or two of my guys got jumped by the Michigan State fans until he saw the video. Then I I forget the Michigan State's head coach name, but he went on the interview, and the 4 obvious players that were jumping them, they were suspended from all team activities. They're not allowed to participate in practices, meetings, weightlifting. They're not allowed to attend the games right now. And well, yeah, they'll be off the team. And then he says that he doesn't want to comment any further to interrupt anything going on with the investigation. So you'll see assault charges, I think, from those 4 players.
That's one thing I disagree with. I hate the fact that you got 2 rivals playing a football game, going down the same tunnel after one of them just lost. Like, why do we got to bring police into this?
And they have issues every year.
Assault. Yeah, we know. Discipline them, take away their scholarship, kick them off the team. Why do we have to bring the law?
Because Jim wants it.
Well,
but you could have killed someone with a hit to the head with those helmets.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the fact that why do we need to do that? It's sports, bro. It happens. Like, take care of it off the field, but you don't need to bring in police and ruin these kids' life because they got in a fight in the hall. Like, yeah, they jumped the kid. Absolutely, I agree. I'm not saying they don't deserve punishment, but bringing in police and outside, like, I understand suing guys and getting the money as you're the player that got jumped, but that should be the end of it.
I think I will have to just disagree with that, just because the fact, like, it's different if they were just throwing fists. They were throwing helmets. I mean, they were throwing them hard too. Like, if you get hit in the head a couple times like that, that's brain damage. You could get very, very injured. And I agree that those guys need to have assault charges, and they need to be kicked out of school. That's my opinion. They do not deserve to be there. They do not deserve to ever step foot on a football field again, because that should have never even gone that far. Because yes, it's rivalry, and every year Michigan and Michigan State have confrontation like that. Not us jumping each other, but they fight back and forth verbally. That's fine. But once it starts getting physical like that, that's a whole new issue, and it should have never happened. And the Michigan player, I agree, Caleb, they should have never been walking through the same tunnel. They should have never. They already had issues on the field during the game. But going as far as throwing your helmets at him and hitting him with your helmets, that's too far. They need to be disciplined more than just.
That's also saying that those 2 are innocent, which I don't think that they were.
They're not innocent, but they're not the ones getting. It'd be different if we saw him throwing punches and throwing helmets at the other teams. But all videos show Michigan State players.
That's the end of the story. He got jumped, but
it's
you just lost a football game. You got guys. I'm sure they were pestering these dudes like, oh yeah, 100%. We took the L doing something. I'm not saying Michigan players are innocent, but once it became an assault thing, that's ridiculous.
They should have never gotten that far.
I still don't think ruining the rest of these kids' lives is really necessary, because it is a sporting event. People get, like, if 2 fans were to go and fight each other, they're not getting assault charges. They're getting kicked out of the game, and that's it. So why are we ruining these kids' lives and giving them, I don't know if it's a felony or what, but full-on assault charges just because they got in a fight after a game, when any normal human being, after getting murdered like that against their straight-up rival, would probably be very upset as well. And I'm not justifying their act in any ways, but
it comes down to the fact. It comes down to the player that was assaulted. If he wants to press charges, that's what it comes down to.
That's fine. That's what I said.
With fans,
but I'm talking about the actual schools.
If fans get kicked out of a game because they're fighting, yes, there's no actual charges until one of them presses charges and goes to the police, say, I want to file assault charges. And that's what's happening with the.
That's why I said if the player wants to go and do something, which he did, he got his lawyers. He got a great lawyer, I guess. That's fine, because he was the one assaulted.
And that's exactly what
they need to do. The one thing or multiple things of kicking the player off the team, taking away his scholarship, and going from there. But ruining the kid's life and sending him to jail or whatever happens with that.
Nowadays, you'll
spend on me. It's a sporting event, but I think that's enough on that one. All right. Another thing that Samantha had for us, cool little idea, bring up our favorite player, and we're going to do it as player of the week and team of the week. So we'll do kind of like on a different episode, favorite college football moment of history, like the best of all time. Same with the favorite player of all time. This week, I kind of want to stay on topic in terms of like what's going on right now. So we're going to start off with the players of the week. Samantha, who do you got for your player of the week?
I'm gonna go with Bowers.
Who?
19 Georgia Bowers. Did you
Okay.
see that bobble catch? That's my play of the week from a player that I was
Player
like,
of the week from a player. Okay.
dude, that bobble catch, it bounced off of the defensive player, him, and then he turned his shoulder, looked around, grabbed it,
For the
freaking
touchdown.
went for 73 yards. That was the best play all week for me.
Fair enough. So you're going with him for your player of the week because of that play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fair enough. Micah, who do you got? Who's your player of the week?
I was going back and forth between two players, Caleb Williams and Drake May. I was going back and forth. They both had outstanding weeks. Overall, though, Drake May had the better week. 34 for 44, 388 passing yards, which was a little under Caleb Williams, who had 411. But he had 5 passing touchdowns, which is the same as Caleb Williams, 77% on completion. I mean, that's an outstanding weekend. He only had 10 drop balls. Caleb Williams was 27 for 30 on short balls. So passing short, he only had 3 drops. That's fine. He had, I think, over 200 yards deep balls. Great stats from Caleb Williams. He had a great week. But Drake May, 34 for 44, 10 drop passes. That's insane. With 388 yards, 5 touchdowns on the day. So it's got to be Drake May from North Carolina.
Okay. Personally, this one's going to be kind of out of the blue. We already talked about him a little bit today, but I have to say Will Howard at Kansas State.
Well, I had Will Howard between that too.
Because he got injured the previous week against TCU. So he played a little bit there, but then got injured. Came back this week. The dude went off. What do you have? 296 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, averaging 8 yards a pass. I just don't see how you don't put him in this spot just based off of the magnitude of the win. Yeah, if he came in and beat Oklahoma State 48-45, we might be having a different conversation because it's a good game, but it's not outstanding. He led this team who honestly probably should have lost this game in terms of what everybody was thinking after that TCU game, how Oklahoma State's been looking. He led this team to a 48-0 win. He was throwing it all over the field. It's not like he did any rushing or anything. I had like 3 yards with five attempts, but nothing outstanding there. But he took the spot and he did what he was supposed to do, and then went above and beyond with what he was supposed to do as well. Like, I just think that it was such a fantastic win, fantastic way for him to keep Kansas State not only on the radar, but like
just relevant in
looking
general.
like that top 15 team, So that's who I got. I think it goes to him for this weekend. Moving on, we got team of the week. Samantha, you want to start us off again?
No,
Okay. All right.
I can't find what I wrote.
All right, we'll move on to Micah since Samantha's unprepared for our show here.
Oh, God.
Kansas State.
Kansas State?
You can't. I don't see how you could have anyone else as team of the week.
Right.
That blowout of a game with that caliber of a team. You have to have Kansas State. They showed up and they proved who they are. And I think, like you said, how Will Howard was playing, how their entire defense was playing, to shut out a top 10 team like that is outstanding. So
it really is. I agree. Samantha, what do you got? Did you find it yet?
Yeah, it's kind of harsh, but I like the TCU versus West Virginia game because TCU was on top of it on all 4 quarters. They just stayed there. They were consistent throughout the entire game, and it's more of an entertaining, like, yes, it's tough.
It's not like it was an easy win.
No. And it was just back and forth. It was just a very entertaining game, and it was cool to see TCU pull it off at the end. And that was my game of the week.
I like it. You guys are going a little like out of the pocket here with these games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be basic as fuck. I watched the whole Tennessee game, and there's no shot that I can say any game was better than that. Tennessee took this Kentucky team and this top NFL prospect of a quarterback in Will Levis and just fucking beat him down, bro. I don't care what you say. Will Levis was exposed. Kentucky was exposed. And Tennessee was firing again on all cylinders. Hendon Hooker.
I said that Kentucky might have a chance to pull off an upset.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. There was no shot. But Hendon Hooker, 3 touchdowns. Hyatt, of course, doing his thing. You just can't. What do you have? Like 2 touchdowns again, 130 something yards. I mean, together they're. I get from Jalen Hyatt. I'm getting Devontae Smith vibes, big time. Even Jamar Chase, but I just I can't look at this Tennessee win and say anything other than like they're winning the championship. That's it. I'm bleeding orange, man. I can't say anything other than damn. Kansas State was a great win. TCU, great win. It could have been a look ahead week for them, but Tennessee, I think overall just had the best win. Outright domination. When a lot of people were saying that they're coming off, some big wins. They're going ahead to Georgia. They're not going to be prepared. They're going to come in not prepared enough to play this Kentucky team, and who knows, they could lose.
And let's be honest, it was a look-ahead game after that.
It was 7-6. Kentucky missed that field goal, the extra point. No, that was it. That immediate, as soon as he got his hand on that and he blocked that extra point, I knew Tennessee had that just light sparked it right under their asses, and they just took off. They were gone. There was no stopping them. Kentucky couldn't do anything. Will Levis didn't even pass for 90 or for 100 yards. He passed for 98 yards. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's the most backward stat from this so-called NFL player or NFL prospect. And I just can't say anything other than like, wow,
We're looking at stats for Trevor Lawrence's NFL career now.
I know, geez, dude. Like, what's up with these interceptions, man? But props to Tennessee, props to TCU, props to Kansas State. All great wins, all doing what they're supposed to do. Especially Kansas State. I can't lie. That one was shocking. Still a little bit in awe with that, but yeah, no, props to all 3. That's my best win. You guys got anything else that we're looking to touch on here?
I don't think so.
No, I think we kind of hit the majority of the subjects here today. We got our Notre Dame talk in, as always. I think this week we're going to see some upsets that we didn't see coming before. The
only upset I'm seeing is, well, technically, I guess Kansas State is going to be an upset, but Notre Dame is the only upset I see. Alabama's taking care of business.
See, I think I'm saying upsets because of Tennessee and Georgia. I think people still have Tennessee overrated in their minds, and because of how Alabama played, that's what they're all going to say. So I think that's why I'm saying upset, because Tennessee's going to be able to pull that. It is kind of an upset win over Georgia.
It is an upset because they are the underdog, even though they're the higher ranked team. Make it make sense, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee is going to win. Alabama's going to win. Kansas State's going to win. Notre Dame's going to win. That's all there is to it. So yeah, guys, that is going to be it for us here at Gold Line Podcast, episode number 2. We're going to have a great episode coming for you guys next week after not as big, but a pretty big weekend. We'll have a lot to touch on in terms of the next college football playoff rankings, see where everybody lands after week 10. As of right now, that's it though. So make sure you guys go ahead and like and subscribe. Follow the socials. We got a TikTok up and we got a Twitter up right now. Working on the Instagram and stuff. Other than that, like I said, make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.